Thanks for checking out my video. My name is Casey Kramer. I'm a farrier by trade and used to be a strength coach for 16 years. And so what I want to do is just share with you my after work stretch and recovery routine that I've been doing for 3 or 4 years, ever since I became a farrier. So for me, stretching's always played a big part in my life. As an athlete, I used to stretch every day. And then as a strength coach, I saw a lot of great results leading athletes through stretching programs and different routines and just the way that it helps your body. For me, where I'm at right now, stretching is a big time recovery asset. So I stretch as a matter and a form of recovery, just to kind of help my body get back to normal after a long day at work. And so I'm going to take you through what I usually do. It's about 10 to 15 minutes. You can follow along step by step. Skip through, do what you like. But again, it's all based around being a farrier and what we use our bodies for on a daily basis. First thing I always do is start with a foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, I recommend that you get one. I picked this one up on Amazon. It was like $19.99, I think, so relatively cheap. A good thing to know when you do buy foam rollers is they come in different densities. So this one is the hardest density. It's because I've been foam rolling for a lot of years, and so my muscles are used to it. They're able to handle it. If you're new to foam rolling, maybe pick up one of the softer density rollers. They're typically sold in density, so you'll be able to find them. But again, you can find them on Amazon or any sporting goods store, anything that's near to you. So we'll go ahead and get started. Really, all you need is just some space. So I'm here in my gym, but you can use your living room or whatever you have available. I always use a stopwatch. And just to keep myself on time, typically about 30 seconds for every exercise is kind of a sweet spot for me. Feel free to go up to a minute 30, whatever you need. But I typically have a minimum of about 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds per exercise. That's on the foam rolling and the stretching. So the first thing that I always do, I'm gonna get the timer going, is I just start by foam rolling my back. Our backs, as you know, are the thing that we use the most during the day. So I'm usually the tightest after I get done, get home, get out of the truck. So I just start with the foam roller on my lower back, and I'm just gonna kind of work up to my shoulder blades and kind of back down just a little bit above my waist. I try to stay off my lumbar with it because there's really not a whole lot of muscle there. And I'll just turn side to side and kind of just try to release the tension. If you don't know much about foam rolling, it's great to lengthen out your muscles. Also helps to restore you, loosen up any knots that you might have. It digs deeper into the muscle. Also pushes your fluids through and your nutrients, so the water that you're drinking or the fluids that you're drinking gets them kind of rolling through your muscles too, to just really jumpstart that recovery. So after I've done my lower back, I'm gonna go up to my upper back. So I'm working from the shoulder blades, kind of from the shoulder blades up to the high shoulder. And so for me, I usually get lots of knots and some soreness between my shoulder blades. So I'm just gonna kind of hug my body right here to flatten out my upper back. And I'll just go side to side and just kind of work up into my shoulder blades. Just trying to find anything that I can that's up in there. Any kind of knots or anything. Typically my right side, because of past injuries, is a little bit tighter. And so, and I'm right-handed, so I'll typically work on the right side just a little bit more. But all I'm doing right here is just working on my upper back, my thoracic spine. After I've rolled a little bit, I'll just go ahead and sit the roller right at the base of my shoulder blades. And I'm just gonna do some extensions right here. I'll put my arms on the roller. And really all I'm trying to do is just sink my head back and just open up that upper back. As farriers, we're kind of bent, we're hunched over all day. And so what I wanna do is just kind of repair that damage. Just open up just a little bit. Again, just like 4 or 5 reps there is plenty. From there, this is a really good one that I like to do, and it's just, I'm just gonna roll out just the side of my glutes, like right on the side of my butt cheek. And so what I do is I'll sit, if you sit on your roller, you tilt to one side, put that leg over the top, you're just gonna flatten out your side of your glute. And so this muscle gets really tight, especially when we're squeezing our legs together. And when you're bending over, when you're in kind of that bent position all day, your glutes kind of take a little bit of get a little bit tight, take a little bit of the tension from your lower back and your hamstrings, and maybe if you have some tightness in your hips. So I'll just do that. Make sure you're gonna hit both sides. So again, I'm just tilting. I'm gonna take my left here, cross it over. And I'm just going, just kind of from my waist. If you're wearing, wearing your pants, it would be from like, up where your belt is to like the Wrangler patch on your pocket, where that would be kind of for reference. So that's where you're going right there. Just a little area of muscle that gets really, really tight. Yeah, just about 30 seconds there. And then what I'm gonna do is go to, and you can stop the video and do whatever you wanna do if you wanna go a little bit longer there. I next go to my hamstrings. If you're new to foam rolling, you can just go right down the middle if you foam roll for a while. Try this where I'm gonna turn to the side, kind of catch a little bit where my quad and my hamstring meet, that IT band right there. I'm just gonna catch a little bit of the backside of that. But certainly just working your hamstring. One leg is a little bit more intense than two. Put a little bit more of your weight on. And you wanna really lengthen. So the reason why we foam roll is to kind of rolling pin our muscles out. So I wanna go from my knees, kind of up to the top of my butt right there, or the bottom of my butt. So just the top of the hamstring, all the way to the bottom of the hamstring. Just at 30 seconds, you can kind of move around. Working all the way down, we're gonna go to our calf. So I usually start at my ankles, and I just work all the way into the calf. This one's a little bit painful when you first start out, so be ready for it if you haven't done it before. Just because there's not a lot of muscle there, and it's just a little bit invasive. Just to the knees, down to the ankles, kind of straighten out your Achilles a little bit. If you guys are like me, you're in a pair of work boots all day, so my Achilles get really tight. So I'm naturally a very tight person, so my muscles are always just a little bit tight. Always have been my whole life. I've always worked at flexibility. My goal with flexibility is not to become hyper flexible and be able to fold myself up like a yogi, but just to, like I said, just restorative. Okay. Once I finish the calf, I'm just gonna flip around and I'm gonna hit my quads. So I'm gonna start on my knees, work up to my hip flexors. Again, this one will be a little bit painful too if you've never foam rolled. So you're just gonna work that, kind of that meat part of your quad. I go side to side a little bit. I try to get up into my hip flexors with this one. So I'll make sure I go my right side and my left. Trying to find any little knots or tightness. Right now I got a little bit of tightness in my left, like right there at the top, so I'll stop there and kind of just work that out. But all the way to the knee, up to the hip flexor. Guys, you kind of stop before you really get into some serious business up there. Okay, from there, this is a big one too for us, just from the position that we're in, but I'm just gonna lay to my side. I got my left leg here, the foam roller's at my knee, and I'm just gonna roll this groin and adductor muscle. So I'm just rolling, trying to lengthen through there. Again, this is a big one. This one gets shut off a lot because of the position that we're in all day, squeezing our knees together and bent over kind of in that squeezed knee, squeezed ankles, toed in position to hold feet. So this is a big one right here. This loosening up your hips and your groins goes a long way to helping your back pain. So your back, everything's connected. I've done some videos that talk about that, but everything's connected through your hips. And so if you can loosen up those groins and the hips, your back is gonna feel a lot better. So that's why I like to roll out my groins. This is an adductor. I'm an adductor muscle right here. So I got my knee bent and I'm just rolling into my groin. Not quite to my knee, but just a little area. along the inside of my upper leg. All right, and then the last one with the foam roller. I love this stretch because I get tight in the shoulders. My chest has always been a little bit tight, probably from back in the days when I used to bench press a lot when I was an athlete. My chest is very tight, so I love to do this at the end of the day, and partially because of the position that we're in, we're always slumped forward with our shoulders. So I just set the foam roller a long way, and I'll just lay back. I'm gonna put my arms up in the air and then just let them fall. So just opening up the chest. You can go side to side if you want to, but just opening the chest, so kind of letting gravity work to its advantage. So I'm not trying to stop my arms, just letting them fall. And again, this is good for opening up the shoulders and the chest. Try not to squeeze back with your shoulder blades, just let your hands fall. If you need to, you can kind of shake them out. But just a chest opener. All right, so from there, what I like to do is next just work on my back and just work on some of the things that are tight through the day, that got tight through the day. So the first thing I love to do is just this stretch of my lower back. So what I'll do is I'll start by, I'm just gonna lay down and let my knees fall side to side. And I'll just do about 2 or 3 of those. My heels are on the floor. And I'm trying to keep my arms flat. Ideally, I should lay my head back, and I'm just trying to fall over as far as I can, pushing this right knee down. Then I'm gonna push this left knee down. Okay, now as I come back, what I'm gonna do is take my bottom foot and just put it on top of my left knee right here. And so again, just letting gravity help me. So my right side's trying to fall down. Try to keep your hands out. And I'm just gonna hold that. I'm gonna take about 5 or so nice deep breaths here. Again, this is stretching right here. So this is through my side, a little bit into my lower back. And I'm just gonna switch sides. So I fall over, I take my bottom foot and just hook it on top of my knee. And just pull straight, let gravity pull you down. So I'm not pulling with this leg, I'm just letting it fall. So really good for that lower back, in through your side. I kind of feel it in my glute here a little bit too. Try not to turn with it. I'm trying to keep my right shoulder blade right here on the floor. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is just do a crossover, and I'll do these dynamics. So I'll just do reps here. So I go about 5 reps, I hold for a count, I come back, I hold for a count, and I'll just do about 4 or 5, just some side to side, crossing over. I'm reaching with this hand, with my right, as I kick across, I'm gonna reach. Staying nice and flat with my upper body. As I just go side to side, I'm just gonna do 1 more. So just go inside. I'm trying to kind of kick my foot up to my hand, but you don't have to. You can just lay your foot across, just like that. Okay, and the next stretch is great if you have sciatic, anything that's in your sciatic in your back, if you have nerve pain there. We're just gonna do like a little glide. So what I'll do is take my hands, I'm gonna slightly bend this leg, my heel's in the floor, and I'm just gonna grab behind my knee. I'm gonna pull in, press the foot up, relax, pull in just a little bit further, straighten. So I'm gonna hold about 3 seconds right here. Okay, as I go back, I want to pull in just a little bit further, straighten. So one thing that I like to do is why I bend this leg just a little bit, the right side, is it flattens my lower back. If I straighten my leg, I get an arch in my lower back. So I want to bend, so I'll flatten my lower back. That's a trick I learned a lot of years ago. But I'm just pulling in and straightening out. Hold about 1, 2, 3. Pull in just a little further. Breathe out, straighten straight up, 1, 2, 3. All right, we're gonna switch sides on that. So again, I'm gonna bend my left slightly, got my heel on the floor. I'm just gonna squeeze in, straight up. My right side is always a little bit tighter than my left, my hamstrings. So we use our hamstrings all day, so this one's gonna feel great for you. In just a little further, straight up. 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of pointing my toes back, like I'm pointing back toward that wall. Pull in just a little further. And I'm holding for about a 3 count. Pull in one more time. And a 3 count. So again, that's just gonna fix any nerve pain that you might have. It's great for sciatic pain. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do, keeping on that series, is I'm just gonna go straight ahead into this hip flexor stretch. And so what I like to do right here is I'm actually gonna grab my roller, and I'm just gonna put both hands on my roller, and I'm just gonna hold right here. We're gonna hold this for probably 20-30 seconds right here. So I'm just pushing my hands down into the roller. If that's too easy for you, you can go straight to the floor, so you can put your hands on the floor, but the roller is gonna help you sit up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna stay with the right knee down, and I'm just gonna take my left foot and stick it straight out. And so again, I'm gonna use my roller for my right hand, but I'm trying to reach my fingers to my toes. So you can reach your fingers to your toes right here. And what I'll do is just take my foot and turn it side to side. You'll feel a big time stretch through your hamstring. So we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. So I'm pulling up with my toe. I got my fingers here around my toes and just going side to side, just like that. And then the last in this series is I'm just gonna stick that leg straight out to the side. Still got my left knee in the ground. And I'm just gonna walk my hands back. So I'm sitting my butt back toward this right heel. Okay, big time stretch through the groin. I'm trying to stay upright. I'm not trying to slump shoulders down. So I'm trying to stay open. Try to push your hands into the ground. And if I can, I'm gonna drag this right knee out just a little bit as far as I can, but just hold that stretch. Again, keep good posture here. Work your spine just a little bit. Don't drop your chest down. And then when you release, forward out of it. So I just kind of crawl forward out of it. And we're just gonna switch to the other side. So it's the extended lunge right here. So I put both hands on the roller. I'm just kind of forcing my chest down, but really putting pressure on my hands into the foam roller, so I'm pushing down actively. Just like that, holding the stretch for 30 seconds. So stretching after you work and in the evening, this is when I do this routine. I also have a morning routine too that I'll post at some point. Does a lot of things for you. Again, like I said, just repairing the damage. We're gonna switch that to the hamstring. So again, fingertips over the toe. I'm just gonna kind of walk my toe side to side. So why do I stretch in the evenings? Again, repair the damage, but there is a such thing as down regulation, which drops your stress, lowers your cortisol, just helps your body kind of get back to where it should be. You'll sleep a lot better if you stretch before you sleep, after work. Stretch before you go to bed. Just again, as just a stress reliever, really lowers your central nervous system activity. So we always call it down regulation. When I was a coach, we always encouraged our players to stretch every night. We always stretched after practice, again, just to repair the damage. And then we're going out to the side. Would be our next one right here, the groin. So again, I'm trying to step my left side over, and then I'm just gonna sit back, my butt back toward my heel. Yeah, every day when I was a coach. We always stretched I did a lot of my work in football. I was in the NFL for 4 years. We stretched our guys every day after practice. We stretched before games. We stretched after games. Again, just repairing damage. All right, so kind of the last couple that I do, I'm just going to adjust the camera right here. Oops. Unedited videos, as you see. I don't have to fire the editor. So what I like to do is sit against the wall, takes pressure off my back, and I just pull my heels in, and I'll just put my hands or my elbows rest on my knees and just kind of push my knees down a little bit. So I'm really tight in my groins. I don't have a whole lot of range of motion in my hips and my groins. So this one's always good. Again, I try to sit with good posture here, and just like gravity, I let my knees fall as far as they will, and then I'll just push them a little bit with my elbows. So I'm pushing with my elbows in, and my hands as leverage here on my shins, and just trying to hold good posture, push down. This is a great stretch. Really feels good in your groins to open up those areas. Okay, next thing that I'm gonna do is just a glute stretch. So just how we foam rolled on the side of the glute. So we internally rotate so much during the day. We're moving our hips or our knees in, and our angles of our hips is internally rotating our knees together. So it's important that we stretch out any tightness. So what I'll do the left side first because it's facing the camera, but I'm just gonna take my right and bend. I'm gonna cross my left over, and then I'm just gonna sit back against the wall, take my hand, put it on my foot, my other hand, my left hand's on my knee, and I'm just pushing down and kind of pulling right here. And so you can slide, as if I slide my right foot back, it's just gonna deepen that stretch. And I like to sit against the wall, just like I said, just takes pressure off your back. You don't have to hold yourself up. Your back doesn't have to work. So we're got about 30 seconds there. And then we'll switch that. So left heel is in the ground. I'm crossing over with the right. I'm gonna grab my toe. I'm gonna push on my knee. We're just gonna sit for a little bit. Really good stretch. Again, you're gonna feel this in your butt, kind of down the side of your leg. So like kind of right in here. Should be about 30 seconds right there. And then what I'm gonna do, you can use the mat for this. I'm on kind of a hard floor, but so I'm against the wall. I'm just gonna put my toes against the wall, and I'm on my knees, and I'm just gonna sit back. So I'll put my elbows on the wall, and I can feel this all through both hip flexors. So I'm holding myself. If you can sit back to where your upper back is against the wall, kind of walk yourself back. Use your hands if you're first starting out. Just kind of use your hands and lean back. You'll feel a good stretch. Keep good posture. Then to the elbows. And then if you can sit all the way back. And then what I'm going to do is just push my butt forward, kind of push forward through my hips. So just stretching out, opening up all that area that you tightened up when you were bent over all day, doing your work all day. We're stretching all that out. Okay, then I'm going to come back over to the mat. Like I said, I have tight shoulders, so I always have to work on my shoulders a little bit. My camera angle turns, so I'll turn to where you can see me. But this is just a side sleeper stretch. So I'm gonna lay on the mat. I got my left hand up, and all I'm gonna do is just take my right hand and just push it straight down. So I'm just pushing down with my right hand, just stretching through the shoulder. So just stretching out the shoulder. I'll relax for a second. I'm just gonna come right back. It's called a sleeper stretch. So just laying on my side. I'll hit both sides of that. I'll turn this way. I'll just go right here. So just lay on my side. Pushing the hand straight down. So I'm pushing my right hand down with my left. Just a good stretch of the shoulder. Just be careful here. Don't push too hard. Just to where you get a good stretch. And all these, how far do you want to go? I always go until I feel a good stretch, and then just a little bit more. So I go until I feel like I can't, then maybe like 10% more. Just trying to create length and a little bit of recovery. All right, the last two are for the upper body. And so the first one that I'm gonna do is just a wall tricep stretch. So I'm against the wall right here. So I'm just gonna take my elbow, my hand goes straight up. I'm gonna put my elbow on the wall, and it's like I'm patting myself on the back right here. So I have my hand on my upper back, and I'm just gonna step away as far as I think I can, and I'm just sitting here with good posture. I'm gonna actually take my head and push my wrist back. So you're gonna really feel it through your tricep. So your triceps get tight from swinging the hammer, all the knife work and rasping and stuff like that really just hits those triceps. So just gonna try to create length in the triceps. I get tight in the shoulders and triceps, so that one's a big one for me. And I'm gonna do both sides, so I'm gonna turn away from you. You'll be able to see the back side here. So again, I got my hand upper back, and just lean in. If you can step out a little further, you're just gonna deepen the stretch, but this side for me is always a little bit tight because of past injury, so I'm pushing back with my head. Just really feel that stretch through my tricep. In through your armpit, kind of back into your lat too is gonna get stretched out. Okay, and then the last one is a great stretch. If you have any type of hand numbness or pain or any type of pain in your wrists from using your hands and stuff all day, this is gonna be a good one too. So what I'm gonna do is take my hands and just spread them as far as I can against the wall. So I've got my fingers spread out, and then I'm just gonna push. And so what I'm doing right here, I'm pushing into the wall, and I'm just rotating forward with my shoulder right there. So pushing and rotating, so I'm stretching my wrists, my forearms, into my shoulder. Through your bicep, there's some nerves and tendons and everything that goes through there that connects everything. It's just really gonna open those up and open up those areas too. So this was a big one for me. I have a lot of numbness in my hands sometimes from some nerve pinches. Like I said, I had some shoulder stuff go on earlier in life. So if you go up the wall, it's a little bit easier. Down the wall is gonna be a little bit more intense. So again, I'm gonna take my hand, just gonna spread it, and then I'm just gonna push it into the wall. I'm turning my right side out away from you, out away from the camera. And just getting a good stretch right there. Probably 30 seconds there. All right, so I appreciate you checking out the video. I do a lot of programming. You can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. I do a lot of online programming. I run what's called the Blue Collar Bunkhouse. It's where I make workout programs for working men and women who work for a living, are out there putting in work all day but still want to go to the gym. If you want to check me out, hit me up, send me a message. I would love to work with you. If you have any exercise needs or questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see you back around.